Hello and welcome back to Pocahontas, Iowa. We're here for another edition of High School Game Day. I'm Chandler Todd.
I'm Chris Meyer.
And I'm Dylan Peterson.
And we're going to jump right in here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start off with the Emmitsburg homecoming game against Sibley Ocheyedan. Boys, what are we thinking tonight?
Tonight, I picked Sibley Ocheyedan to win this matchup, and let me tell you why. Bo Genis. Pretty good quarterback.
Bo.
Run first quarterback. He has a good running back behind him in Dylan Platt. But other than that, they're nothing special. I mean, they got Bo Genis has 5.7 yards carry, and Dylan Platt has 5.2. Those are their main offensive threats, and I think they're the ones who we'll see the most from.
Right. I'm going to have to go on ahead and go with Emmitsburg on this one. As much as I do like Bo Genis' 375-yard rushing, I'm convinced on Emmitsburg right now. I've been watching their offensive line power through. I've been watching Mason Griffin, and like I tell everybody, if he plays football as good as he wrestles, my goodness gracious, it's going to be one heck of a matchup tonight. I'm going to have to go with Emmitsburg. I've watched that Cole Shirk. He is one heck of a rusher, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be interesting. That's all I can say.
To my opinion, I think Emmitsburg is just an average team with an average running game and an average defense, whereas I think Sibley Ocheyedan, what they have going for them is a good running game. Mm-hmm. And with Bo Genis, I think just with the good running game and Bo Genis in general, I'm going to have to go with Sibley Ocheyedan on this one.
I'm still not sure on that. I mean, watching Foxhoven, Hoyman, and Dunlap with over 15 solo tackles, I think this could be a really tough game tonight, but I'm going with Emmitsburg.
I'm picking Sibley Ocheyedan because they do have those offensive threats in Bo Genis and Dylan Platt.
Bo, yes.
But they don't have any receiving. Nobody has more than 5 receiving catches. Like, Bo Genis is a run-first quarterback because he has to be. If Sibley Ocheyedan can make some passes tonight, I think they will win this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I remember years ago we've been over to Emmitsburg, and those guys get fired up at just a regular football game. This is their homecoming game. They're going to get out there. They're going to get loud, and I think that could take effect tonight.
Next, we have Dallas Center Grimes and Humboldt. Chandler, what do you think about this one?
I'm going with Humboldt all the way. See, Jamison Hines. I've been watching some footage for a few days now, and the kid is explosive. And we can go into the 1-4 record. As much as we want to talk about that, I still think coming off of that powerful win last week, this could be a heck of a game for them. Not to mention, it's their homecoming as well. I'm going with Humboldt on this one.
See, I agree with you that Jamison Hines is a monster. He has 2/3 of Humboldt's points. They came off a 7-6 win last week, and I think they're going to win tonight's game.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm gonna have to pick Dallas Center Grimes on this one. And despite Jamison Hines' impressive record, I'm gonna have to. I think to compare Jamison Hines, you have to look at Luke Busby from Dallas Center Grimes.
Sure.
I mean, he's an exceptional player. I mean, and then look at Caden Grimes. I mean, absolutely impressive, I think. And then to look at Dallas Center Grimes, I think their defense is phenomenal. I mean, with total tackles from Jacob Waldron, Blake Wiley, and Garrett Morris, all over 20. I mean, just a powerful defense, and not to mention their excellent quarterback, Ty Walker, with a 65.7 completion rate percentage, and 482 yards of passing. I mean, that's just exceptional.
Going off of that, Dallas Center Grimes does have a good 3 running back rotation. Most teams don't have 2 quarterbacks, let alone 3. They can do some real damage in tonight's game.
Yeah, and I'm seeing with Humboldt is if they get going, if they get cooking, that Caden Baker, with that 69-yard touchdown that we saw that one week. Oh my goodness gracious! And Gabe Goodell and Matt Miller. I just see all these powerful players on Humboldt's team, and it's homecoming, which, in my personal opinion, from experience, I think that is going to boost them and help them out throughout the entire game. I'm gonna have to go with Humboldt on this one.
Perfect.
Now for the real talk of the town, we've got Pocahontas area against Ogden. What are we thinking tonight, boys?
All right, so I'm going to jump right into it. Just to say, Trey Ehlertz and Sam Christensen, both exceptional quarterbacks, and their stats almost perfectly match. Not perfectly, but they're there. I mean, look at Sam Christensen with 53.8% completion, and then 698 yards, and then you jump over to Trey Ehlertz with 52.2 and 652. I mean, they're both exceptional quarterbacks, and I think comparing them during this game will be like a really interesting conversation piece for everyone in the stands.
I'm gonna have to agree with you, Dylan. I think it's going to be a very, very tight matchup tonight. As much as I want to say, here we go, Indians, I watched again week after week the offensive line that I'm just not still seeing as solid as I'd like them to be. It's been taking a factor. Trey is still being pushed out of the pocket, and he's in trouble. And then we don't know how to come back from that. But after watching that Manson-Ogden game, this could be something we really need to pay attention to tonight.
To me, I think the question of this game is Sam Christensen. And can he be stopped? This guy's a monster. If we take Cage Aarons, Pocahontas' leading rusher, and Trey Ayler's Pocahontas' quarterback, if you put them together, that's Sam Christensen.
Right.
Yeah. He has 430 yards. Cage has 428.
Right.
Christensen has 698 yards of passing. Trey has 652. Just a dynamic player. He can get out and run, and he can also throw the ball.
Right.
I think he's going to be the main offensive threat in tonight's game. He is mostly throwing to Griffin Diggs with 32 receptions on the year.
Griffin's good.
32. That's double than anybody on Pocahontas.
Right.
He's just getting the ball thrown to him, catching them, and making plays.
And like I have always said, and one of my favorite things to say, which is much power as it can be, is Coach Mike Ain that I've seen off of Pocahontas area. I've always said either love your players or get out of coaching. And I've seen day after day, week after week, Mike Ain going out there, getting pumped up for his players, giving them the encouragement that they need. He's got the optimism, he's got the full coaching ride, and he's got one heck of a voice for those referees, as we've seen for the past couple weeks. Mr. Ain is one heck of an asset to the team of Pocahontas, and that's one thing to be proud of for Pocahontas Indians. So that could also be, as always, another boost for the Indians.
Absolutely.
So who do you think is going to win this matchup, Chandler?
I'm thinking it's going to be a very tough match, but I'm going to go with Ogden on this one.
Okay. Dylan?
Now, okay, jumping off what Chandler has to say about Mr. Ain, Coach Ain, and Griffin Diggs and Sam Christensen. Now, I know Sam Christensen and Griffin Diggs are exceptional players, and they both go hand in hand. But I think if Mr. Ain, being the coach he is, he's definitely got his team prepared for those two.
Exactly.
I mean, any coach in that position, really, to stop a power such as Sam Christensen and Griffin Diggs would be the most important part in this game. And not to mention, Ogden lost to Manson, Northwest Webster.
Right.
And we've seen Manson play.
In that 8-6 game against Ogden.
I mean, Manson is not an exceptional
It's not clicking.
team.
It's
just
happening.
not clicking. So, and even despite Sam Christensen and Griffin Diggs and their exceptional little power couple,
Right.
if you'd like to say, I'm going to say Coach Ain is an exceptional coach, and I think he has his boys prepared for this. So I'm just pick Pocahontas for this one.
I agree. I think Pocahontas will win this game. Pocahontas does need to reignite their offense. The first couple weeks, they had an explosive offense. Nobody could stop them. It slowed down a little bit, but it's still there. If they reignite that offense, they're going to do some great things.
Right, and coming off of what Dylan said with the defense, I honestly think if Pocahontas area's defense gets fired up, as we've seen them do in the past, they are going to go with it. And in my opinion, doing something the right way is something to take pride in. So that's something we're going to have to watch tonight. But for right now, that's all. I'm Chandler Todd.
I'm Chris Meyer.
And I'm Dylan Peterson.